Hello, Bonnie, Brony, JPEG, how are you doing? How is everything? Hello, Satanu, how are you? Let me reduce on the sound here of the music. So, how is everyone? I don't wanted to, I'm in the mood to make some medieval scenes. So, I'm great myself. Thank you for asking. So, let's make some medieval scene. Great to hear. Did you guys do anything fun for the... I was going to call this a weekend, but then I realized it's not actually a weekend. It's a Saturday. What day is it today? It's Thursday. Hello, Deepak. How are you doing? Just going to make, hopefully, an interesting medieval scene. And I think we can start right away with the texturing. For the texturing, I'm good. How are you? I'm great myself. For the texturing, I'm going to use my texture folders add-on, and you can see if you have the add-on, you can see I've made a few changes, just a few improvements, and yeah, I think we can go and look at them right now. So let me just switch to link a new folder. Let me link, what should I link? Go into my walls folder and just link that. That should bring up all the textures in that folder. And what I can do now, I can just grab a texture like this and then create a PBR shader with this texture. But if I'm not sure, and I can see now I have also added an option to change the texture coordinate mapping, because right now what I've used is UV mapping. That's why you see we have some stretching there. But I can go on and change this to object mapping, which should give me a better texturing. Let me first turn on ambient occlusion here. Ambient occlusion. Hello, Tricky Dude, how are you doing? Increase the factor here, so we have more pronounced ambient occlusion. More pronounced. Yeah, another option I've added to the folders, to the texture folders add-on. You have now the ability to add Hdris. So let me first link this folder, and also link another Hdri folder. So now I have the option to just use whatever I have as an Hdri simply by just hitting one click, and everything is set up for me. But let's choose a better Hdri. Let me go to my skies. Let me get something like this. Use that. I really need better Hdris in my library. I think this is better. Also has that yellow spot. This is giving us a nice look here, which I think is great. Now what I'm going to do is add in a few details here. Just grab this. I want this to be a brick layer, something like that, and I want this to use the same material, so I'm just going to Ctrl L, link material. Let me first go back to my folders, go to my walls, just make sure this is a different material. Just select. I've also added another functionality here, so you can switch out. If you have an image selected in your shaders, you can switch out that image for a different texture using a single click by clicking on the switch texture like that. I think that's a good look. It gives us some nice details. Let me see if how this, maybe it doesn't really blend in very well, but what I can do is go to this material and import it as a texture node and blend it with this. Now give it its own texture coordinate mapping. I should use CV map. Hello Kuma, how are you doing? I think I'm going to multiply or just switch to color. Color. And then maybe so we have something like that. We can go into world settings. Hi, very good. How are you? I am doing fine. I'm doing fine today. Let's see. Let's add some volume. So I can just do under. Is it? Yeah, shader principal volume. Connect the volume. You won't be able to see anything. Let me call this medieval. Medieval scene. Copy. Save like that, and just reduce this just a tiny bit like that, and maybe you can even add in animation strength. It should be something like 0.1, and I'm going to play with the volume settings in the render settings. Volume settings. So I want this to start. Let me just measure this. It can end at around 60, 65, like that. I love your streams every time I see the notification. I join. I've noticed, man, and I really appreciate that. I have noticed, and I'm glad to be seeing you around. So let's have something like that, and I can go to my asset library and under my mega scans I can use a character. Let me use this guy here, add him to the scene just for visual interest. Maybe have him somewhere there. Just going to pause him a bit. Let me first make him editable. So today I have decided to do some medieval stuff. So so we are doing kind of a medieval scene. I think before I do this, I should have shown you what we did yesterday. And I think the render came out very nicely. So let's first do that. Let me first show you what we did yesterday, because I don't think I was able to upload a video on YouTube. Yes. Hello, Upval. Let me just wait for the shader to compile here for a second. So yesterday we worked on creating a city scene like this, and let me see if I can just play the video as. Yeah, so I'm not sure if the resolution is going to be good here, but this is what we created yesterday. I think it came out quite nicely. You can see the scene is quite detailed. Yeah, so this is what we did yesterday. Kind of created this city and then added our character, and yeah, I think it came out nicely. Yeah, thank you. Bro, Shang-Chi, a title tutorial, especially the rings splitting effects. Yeah, so I wanted to do that, but I haven't watched the Shang-Chi yet. So when I watch it, I'll give it a try and see. Yeah, so this is what we did yesterday. And if you want the project file, which will include all the buildings and everything, you can just become a Patreon and yeah. Hello, Nikki Dravid. Sup, my dude. Animation looks great. Thank you. How use the character add-on called? I'm not sure. What do you mean? Yeah, so this is the entire setup. See, and if we go in rendered mode, and that was rendered using Eevee. I know some of you really want to know, so I can say this is the render preview. So that's what we created yesterday, and today we are attempting to do something different, and we're going to be doing some medieval stuff. A nice render, awesome. Thank you, Akash. Do you have any courses? Most of the courses I have are kind of dated. They're for Blender 2. Is it 2.5? Yes, 2.5 and below. So I'm yet to create a new version, but so now I think I'll be able to do. I just have to get a few things out of the way, and maybe then. How is the add-on for the person called? The add-on for the person, no, this is just my asset library, and the asset library just helps me import my assets, different assets from different places, from different projects I've worked on. So, but the character is not from an add-on, it's from, I think the site is called freerenderpeople.com, and that's where I downloaded the character. You can download, I think I'm using this guy here. Yeah, so you can download any of these. It's called renderpeople.com, renderpeople.com. So that's where you can download this character, this guy here. But the add-on I'm using right now is called the asset library, and that's my own add-on. I wonder how it looks in cycles. Yeah, I tried to render it in cycles, but my PC can't really handle cycles, especially with the amount of things that that had in it. Yeah, so let's continue adding in some details. I think I can add some steps here. So what I'm going to do is just grab this here. Yeah, this here. Shift D and just separate it. So it's its own object. It's going to grab this. And I think just making some steps here. Can make more steps by just. Does RAM matter? Yeah, it definitely does matter. It matters a lot, I think. So let's create some steps like that. Now actually we might need way more steps than this, so what I'm going to do is just do it here. I think I can just do this. Then we're just going to use an array for the steps, so things can be much easier. I have very good specs, but I have only 16 RAM. Well, I have only 8, so you're doing way better than me already. Okay, and I want this to be merged, and I will have other steps around here. Yes, make sure that they're using the same material like that. And let's see something like that. These are going to be our steps. Let's go back here. What's your specs? So my specs are, I just go in here. I think this is one of the most asked questions. This is my CPU. It's an i5, 8 GB of RAM, and that's my graphics card. It's a 1060. Nothing fancy. Yeah, 8 GB. As you can see, it's nothing, not a lot. Just have to, yeah. Just want to make some steps here. How does my computer work? I think it works in the same way that yours works. Just apply this. Make sure to merge. Just grab this. Awesome. And I think I can repeat this like so. Maybe even scale that like that. Just going to have this guy parent object, have him somewhere there. And I'm going to reduce my volumetrics off for now. I can just switch them off like that. Rotate this 180 degrees like that. Now we can start adding in extra details. One of the things I could do is just make this. Actually, was working. Let me first make sure this is using a better material. So if I use this, I want to have some bricks here. Some displaced bricks. So what I can do is, let me see. All I can say is how. Yeah, I'm just careful. I guess I'm just getting better at optimizing my scenes, or picking the right scenes, or the right projects to work on. So that my computer is not too stressed. I think I can do checker deselect here. Checker deselect. And then dissolve that. Do the same here. Core i5 dual core, 8 GB RAM, and 1060. Nice. I have around same specs, and if open material, then mine crashes. Okay. I'm not sure. Maybe your materials are heavy. Let me do a checker select here. Another checker deselect. A checker select. Checker deselect. Checker select. I want to do a checker deselect. And this time I can dissolve that. And I think now I can just get rid of this side. And I can select this pattern, insert, and then invert, delete. Now we have some nice bricks. I can just use the array to repeat the pattern. Just going to grab this. And then I can just make sure that everything fits nicely. I can repeat this like that. And now I can apply this. So we have, I think these are too long. They look more like brick walls. But I want them to be in that fashion. So I think I can also just duplicate this again. duplicate this. So we have something like that. And I'm going to UV unwrap this. And the reason I'm doing this so I can add solidify modifier. First, I want to add a displacement modifier. Give this a noise texture. Not a noise, but a clouds texture. Something like that. Just make sure the scale is high enough, but the strength shouldn't be too high. Now, right now, if you look closely, you see everything is being deformed uniformly. But if I change the coordinates to UV map and just make sure that I'm only displacing in the, what would that be? X? No. Y? Just want to displace them only in the, it should be in the Z direction. Just slightly like that. So that randomizes the bricks a bit. Now I can also add in a solidify modifier like that, and I can also give this a bevel, and I can see now we have some nice bricks on the floor without doing a lot of work. Now the other thing I could do is maybe just, let's first get to the UV editor. Just make sure that these are not following the same. Let me first, how is it called? I think it's this. Yeah, so you can see everything is randomized, which is nice. And if you want, you can even get rid of some of these. I think I can just bring them down like that. You can go back to the object. How did you find Blender? I think Blender wasn't my first 3D application. I kind of don't remember my first 3D application because I think it doesn't exist anymore. Or yeah, I don't think it exists anymore because I tried looking for it, but it doesn't. I failed to find it. But the first 3D application I had was a trial version, so I couldn't save. I could just do everything, but I couldn't save my work. So when I got interested in 3D, but I couldn't save, I decided to look for a 3D application that was free and could save. That's how I landed on a list of different applications that included, I think, Wing 3D and different other applications. So that's how I got started with Blender. Never realized you could do that with displacement. Yeah, you can create some nice quick texturing or quick this with that. I think I'm going to reduce the bevel. Let me first apply the scale for this. Yeah, if you're new here, we try to learn a few tricks every day, so it would be amazing if you subscribed or left a like so that you get notified when the next stream is live. So we have that. I'm still working on this. Let me just make sure that the scale of this texture is reasonable, something like that. And also the roughness isn't too clean like this. So I think I can go to my texture folders add-on and just grab, let me link my roughness folder, resources, grind maps. Yeah, so my grind maps, I can grab something like this, then import it as a texture node so that I can blend it with this one here. But I just want it to affect the roughness, and you can see now we are getting a better rough material or rough texture like that. And what was your first computer, and did you build it yourself? No, what was my first? It was, let me see, let me try to remember. It was a generic brand. I think it was a Dell. It wasn't anything special. It was, yeah, I think it was a Dell. A Dell Pentium, not a Pentium. It was, yeah, I think it was a Pentium 4. Yeah, I think it was a Pentium 4. Let's add in more details. For example, I can just grab this piece, duplicate it. So what was your first computer as well? I'd like to know. Was it more interesting than mine? Just going to grab these, extrude them like that, and maybe give this as, extrude this out a bit like that, add a loop here, grab these, and just mirror this on the X. Well, I only have 2 computers and 1 laptop, 1 desktop. Yeah, I think that's what I have to. I have 2 computers because I have 2 screens, but in order to do streaming, I can't fit everything that I need to fit here. So that's why I kind of had to get another computer for just for that. I think most artists have at least 2 computers because it's hard to just work with 1 computer. Let's go back here. And since we already made this, we can also duplicate it and just have it for the surface. I think it adds in some extra detail that we would miss if we didn't have. So I'm just going to just select this part, this side, because doesn't have to be all of it. So that way this side is detailed, and I can use, let me see, do we need a bevel for this? So a bevel I don't think is necessary, it's just adding too much resolution. So I'm just going to add a mirror. Now let me see if this works. If I have this also, okay, maybe that's too much. So PC specs. Yeah, so I think I get asked like 10 times a day when I stream. So this is my PC specs. This is an i5, 3 GHz, 8 GB of RAM, and a 1060, 3 GB. Yeah, a lot of people do ask, especially because the stream gets a lot of new viewers, and yeah, so they ask, why don't you put it in the description? What I think I could do is you have Nightbot, where you can just, because I see a lot of streamers doing it, but I haven't really set it up, where you can just type exclamation mark specs, and then you can get other stuff added for you, but I haven't really set it up. Let me go to my asset library, and I think I could go to my medieval, and see what I can have there, what I can add there. So I haven't really added, I have a lot of assets in my medieval collection, but I just haven't added them to my library. So let's go to my building parts, medieval git bash building parts, because I think that might have some good stuff. I just want to get some structures. I can grab this, add it somewhere. Maybe just give it the same material as this, so they kind of look the same. And also have this piece here. So if you have assets like this, it most of the work is done for you. You're just simply doing set dressing. So have something like that, and I can also grab this piece, maybe add it there. Just make sure it uses the same material. Like that. Now all I have to do is mirror this. Do the same thing. I think I can just have this as a single object like that. Why don't you use a render farm? Because render farms cost money. They can be quite expensive, especially because I do this nearly on a daily basis. I make renders nearly on a daily basis, so if I was to use a render farm, it can become quite expensive if you're not careful. I have an arch here that I think I could use. Let's make sure it uses the same material. So most of what we're doing now is simply set dressing. Since we have done most of the work creating the models. Hello, Bobby. Glad to see you. How is everything? I think I can also make this. How do you have so much free time? Well, Blender is now becoming kind of a full-time job, so, and most of the times you see me online, that's the time I'm spending on Blender. So I spend about 2 to 3 hours in Blender, and then maybe 5 hours coding, working on add-ons and other things, web designing, which I'm not doing a lot of web designing nowadays. But when I do, I spend about 5 hours on that. But most of the time, I spend 2 hours or 3 hours in Blender a day, and then 5 hours programming, like I said, and then yeah, the rest is just random. I usually may take a break, or yeah, I want to learn Blender, but school is making it harder to manage time. Yeah, that would be an issue, I guess. I'm just doing some set dressing here. I can grab this edge loop and just extend it forward like that. I want to add some lighting. I'm going to add a sun. Let me reduce. Let's use something like 5. Make sure we have contact shadows. Looking good. Thank you, thank you. Ahmed El Mora. That's a beautiful name. El Mora. How many vertices is in this ground? Is in the ground? Let me see. Let me actually check. If you want to check the vertices, you just go and turn on statistics. We have, let me first isolate it and see. Just the ground here. That's around 22,500. Let's work on the wall here. So the wall, I can just get this 50. Actually, should it be 50? No. Can have rotate this. Maybe this is too big. Yeah, this is too big. So something like this. And yeah, that's a nice name. Sounds like a grate. I have a wall here, another wall here. Could just add it there. Link materials, and we have something like that. You can see how quickly you can set up things. I'm just going to grab these bottom loops. Yes. So we have, and I'm just going to grab this. And this can also be mirrored. Same with this, controlling modifiers. I think we can duplicate this. And let's play with the lighting a bit and see how things go. So the first thing I could do is just switch the HDRI. So let me first go to my HDRI's image and see. Let's try this. Use as HDRI. All I can say is wow. Thank you, man. And just go back here. I think I can have this at an angle like that, so we can see the details we have spent some time on. And I think I can also just grab all these pieces like that, Alt D, then move them ahead like that. So this just becomes an extension. There may be just, let's play with the lighting. We'll go to my outliner, select everything, select all the lights, shift key type, add them into a lights collection like that. Can go to the world, just turn that off for a second. Maybe I'll bring this back. Just play with the intensity, be 0.05, 0.01 or 0.01 like that. Just make sure you also have volumetric shadows. Let me first grab this light, get rid of it. Let's see. I add an area light around here. Let's bring back the ambient light just a bit. Let's see what can we do here. First I want this character to be, I'd have some kind of light, so I'm going to add a light maybe somewhere here and just something like that. Give this that same warm color. I think I'll see you going to sleep. Good night. No problem. Good night as well. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Yes, have to start adding in light in different places. I don't know, maybe. Hello, love your work. All the very best and good night, man. Thank you, Kushagra, Chatuvedi. You guys really have some amazing names. They're kind of hard to pronounce, but really flow very well. So grab these, push them back a bit, and just grab a few of these. Just do the same, bring them back. Something like that. Hi, what are you doing? Hello, Aero CG. So we are doing some medieval scene. Just seeing how that would go. Hello, Elias. NS, how are you? Glad to see you back. I think I still need this character to be well lit, so I'm just going to add another light again as a rim light. Amazing tutorial. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all the, thank you all your tutorials. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's make sure that this doesn't provide any volume. Let's see if I... So we can have something like that. I think I can do some color management here. Let's first make sure this is using high contrast or very high, like that. And we can use curves, brighten this a bit, like that, and maybe play with the colors just a bit to make things look more better, like that. Yes, the very best, the best videos with Blender. Thank you, thank you. Really flattered by that, by the comments. Let's go back to the asset library and find some, let me see, other things we can add in here. I think we need to have something to focus on around here. So let me go to my, what is it called? In my, not medieval, in my mega scans. I have, these are some models I downloaded off mega scans. Some are not really from mega scans, but they should work for us regardless. Like this here. Just add that in. 180 as a focus point. Make sure that it's using the same materials. Now we can have a light focused. Maybe make the light even more powerful. Something like that. Let's try. Maybe just going to grab this, make sure that this is origin at the center there. Duplicate this. I think, let me try using this rock here. As the background. Something like that. Let me see. Hello, Ismail Khan. Say, Sensor. Yeah. Let's see if I add this here. Now what we are doing mostly is just set dressing. Let's give it the same material. Now this. What CPU are you using? I'm just using an... I don't even know what CPU this is, but I think it's an Intel Core. Okay, so it's not a big brand like a Ryzen or something, but yeah, it's a simple. I'm not very big on PC specs, as you can tell. If you can tell. 3080? Nah. Let's go back to the material. And play with the roughness just a bit. Get that. Yes, grab these, duplicate them. Maybe have something like this. Let me go back to my building parts. I'll look for other things I could add in. have this cage here. Let me see if I add it here, if it would add in some extra detail. I think I need to rotate it 180 like this. Maybe give it an array. I think the resolution of this is a bit too low, so I'm just going to bump it up a bit by scaling it up like that, and can also just go back to my textures folder and can duplicate this, maybe use the same coordinate mapping and blend the two. Because we want to increase the resolution, change the resolution of this roughness. But now I can go back to my textures folder. I'll look for a good roughness map or grunge map, like say this, and switch it using the switch selected texture. And that should switch out that texture to a different one. So we can easily blend the two like this. Now let's try using this as a normal map, as a bump map. So I'll go to my vector bump, use this as a height map, just to see if it can make the scene look better. So this is what we get. The bumps are too much, so I can bring this down just a bit, and maybe even add a car ramp to cut off some detail. Maybe invert. Yeah, something like that. I think this can use its own coordinate mapping, so I'll add that. It can use object as well. So let's look at the lighting again one more time. Shift G, make sure that everything is in the lighting, and then I can just turn off all the lights. Actually, this looks really good without the lights. So let's see which specific lights we want to have on. I think this could be on, but in a different color. There may be. Actually, that's more like it. So let's see if we point it directly. What about if we have two of these? Just so we have some dramatic lighting effects. I think I can just rotate this to face this. Just make sure that the light is very large, so we can have some soft shadows. And let me also go to curves and first turn off that. Let's play. There with the colors here. I think the surface is a bit too reflective still, so actually let's try playing with the specular, which is something that I usually don't play with a lot. Let me have something like that. Let's see what this light does. Doesn't seem to add much. Like how I like that this light here gives us a nice highlight there, so I'll keep that. This one also I would like, but I think it's a bit too heavy, so maybe can have it. Let's see. Just started to rotate models, and then I saw this. Damn, what is this? Yeah, we're just trying to make a medieval scene here, and yeah, you're just trying to rotate models. You will get there if you're not already there. Yes, make that somewhere there. Let's try doing this again. Okay, that would be too much. And if you look closely, I think the contact shadows for this are kind of making him look like he's floating. So what I'm going to do is find the light. I see this. That is creating this shadow. Okay, I don't want everything to be back. So this is the light causing that shadow. Make sure that it has contact shadows like that, and we can play with the distance until we get the contact shadows on him like that. Like that. Also like this. Yes. Let's see. Let me grab this slide, bring it somewhere there. Hello Fauzi, Harry, you doing? You good? Can go back to the textures library and sorry, the asset library, and just find more assets that we can add in. Let me try adding this somewhere here, because I think this place is lacking some detail. Yes, I don't think it This is fitting nicely with... Okay, I don't think this fits. I'm just going to grab this, have it somewhere. Rotate 180 degrees. Give this the same material. Or we can try this. I'm always confused how to make environment and add lighting. Can you suggest me some solutions, and how you're able to see the final product on the left? So what I usually do when I'm lighting, I have all my lights in a single collection, and just after setting them up, I can just switch one by one off, just to see other different modes I can get. And actually, I think if we have this off, we get better lighting. So you just have to play with the lights a bit. Okay, I think I can also here. I think also just make sure you just play with the shadows a lot. So for example, here I'll have a lot of light coming in, but I can block some of it by adding some kind of shadow objects to obstruct some of the light that comes in. So I think, see how different this looks. Are you using pre-made assets? Yes, yeah. Because this would take quite some time if I was just doing everything from scratch. Yes. Let's play with the color a bit here. Maybe this shouldn't be too bright. Just something like that. At what age did you start this? I can't really remember, but I started using Blender in 2000, I think 8, but I was still in school then, so I wasn't doing it very regularly like I'm doing now. Let's turn back our curves. Just give this more contrast. Now I can also go back to my mega scans. I think I have some elements that I could add in here. Say like this Hdri here. I think my scale is way off, but maybe the escalf to give more dark shadows like this. It's kind of giving us some nice contrast, maybe somewhere like that. I think I can also bring this light onto this guy. How much does the asset library cost? Let me just give you the link here. So yeah, it's $15 for a personal license, and our studio license is $25. But you can get the $15. It's exactly the same thing. I just charge different license if you're a studio. But this is where all my add-ons that I use are from. I think I can make this something like 1,000. And let's set up our camera view, and I think I can go into the volumetrics, just increase the resolution just a bit, have it something like that, and I think I can also change the light color of this. Be something like that, and can also grab this light, duplicate it, yes, have it above that line so that we can see some of that. I think for this light here, which I think is our main source of light, as you can see, we can add, let's see, something that can give us some nice shadows or some nice gold rays. So let's go back to the asset library. I'll switch this to my building parts and just find something. I can actually just use this candle here. Just scale it up, because what I just want to use it to block some of the light coming from this. So you can see, I think I can just duplicate this. Actually, this also can be another set of detail I don't know, something we can have somewhere. Okay, let's see. Let's just get something. Let me reduce on the contrast we're having here. Just a tiny bit. We can play with the volume just a bit, maybe play with the end setting and the start setting. Point 002. Go back to the contrast, color management here. If I remove the volume, this is what we have. Maybe have some medium contrast. I'm not sure what look to go for. Maybe go with this. So let me first try this. Let's duplicate this and have it somewhere. So as you can see, we can get different looks by just playing with the light. There may be yes. just to make this scene more interesting. Let's make him ride the lion. His shoulders should be a little bit relaxed. Maybe this. This light could be just a little bit something like that. That could also be another look. Just try. And if you want, you can even just make these volumes even more pronounced. So if I add a plane like this, maybe scale it up like that, I can add a new material and use a principal volume for this, like that, and just make sure the density is down, but the emission volume can be set to something like 1. And what we can do with this is add a noise. So noise, and just previewing that, you can see what we have. Let me first turn off this. I can scale this noise on the Z axis so that we have something like that. And just add a car ramp like this. I want to create some God rays, but I don't want them cut off just like that. So what I can do is add a texture, gradient texture, and this time we can use a sphere. just change, first apply the scale for this, change this to object, just scale this up, something like that. Move this on the Y, and I think we can use a color band here. So just use a color band and just so we can control let's switch this out and see. And this is going to be our density, and our emission, like so. Just need to play with the noise. Now we can make this any color we want, so I'm just going to use a color mix RGB or input RGB, like that. Just connect this to the color and also to the strength, to the emission color, and just give this the color I want. So maybe we can also angle this light here. Hello, Apal Val, how are you doing? Can scale this so we have more detail in our noise, and you can increase the resolution of your volumetrics by playing with the volume like that. Yo, thank you for subscribing. Oh, sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see if we give this camera a slight push. Because we can also give our character some slight animation. And if you want, you can also animate the god rays just a little bit by playing with the rotation values here. So I can just do something like that, and that should give the god rays some slight animation as well. Now the problem is this mesh is quite dense. I would have preferred to animate it as well, but yeah, it's too heavy. And I think that's it. You can add motion to the brightness or the light. Which light? Yeah, so I think that's going to be it for this live stream. We'll be doing this tomorrow same time. I'm glad that you have chosen to join me. But maybe before we leave, I just also want to show you what we did yesterday, if you're just getting here, because I get a lot of questions, a lot of comments asking where the final renders are. So let me take this opportunity to show you what we did yesterday, because I think, yeah. So yesterday we did this here. Just give it a few seconds to load. And I think I'm also going to do a quick render of what we have done today. And yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you Bobby Y. This is what we did yesterday. You are doing really good, brother. I'm dropping a sub. Thank you Moatez TV. And yeah, really appreciate it. Sorry, because I want to be about something different from. Sorry, because I want something different from that. I'm looking for Thomas Brush. Can you tell me about how to combine maps for Unity? and if that will be better or not. So I'm not very familiar with Unity. I'm just good with Unreal Engine. I haven't tried Unity. Okay, anyway, that's it. Thank you for joining us, and I'll be here tomorrow, same time. Yeah, thank you.